A student ever came and asked me something about their shoulder issues, I would look at their spine posture first. Because if their posture collapses forward, they're going to limit their shoulder movement. You see, you can't lift it. Hi guys, Denise here. This is Pose of the Week. Oh, no, it's not. Hey guys, Denise here. This is Ask Denise, and we are looking today at rotator cuff impingement. And we actually see a lot of this. Actually, people anywhere over 30 are actually very prone to this. And we also see it a lot in yoga because of the kind of postures we do, particularly the ones in the Sun Salutation, like plank to Chaturunga to up dog to down dog. And that's actually a very challenging series, and it's, really puts us in a position where we're overloading the shoulder quite often when we don't have good mechanics yet. So that's a big cause of it. Now, what would it feel like? It feels like burning and pinching in the shoulders, especially if you have impingement. That is definitely a pinching. So let me show you where this is. It's going to happen, the rotator cuff tendons kind of come out from under the acromion process right here, and they come this way too, and they all kind of wrap over the head of the humerus here at various aspects. So I want you to just take on your body, just take a couple fingers and feel this bone right here, drop off that bone and scrub across the tissue here. And you might already feel like, okay, yeah, there's some tender tissue. And then I want you to take your arm back a little bit like that and scrub right in front. And that's not a rotator cuff, but it's your biceps tendon. And often it's involved in rotator cuff impingement too. And we see a lot of problems with this in yoga. So that's why I want to address it, okay? So they're all the same bunch of tendons right here in front of the shoulder, okay? And why we see this, as I said, is because of that Chaturunga series oftentimes, and people are practicing those postures in broken positions. They're overloading the shoulder before they have stability, and they don't have a good strategy for stabilizing the shoulder effectively. So that's the problem, and that's how we are going to solve the problem too. Okay? It's also strongly related to spine posture. So, if a student ever came and asked me something about their shoulder issues, I would look at their spine posture first. Because if their posture collapses forward, they're going to limit their shoulder movement. You see, you can't lift it. Try it in your body. If you're collapsed, you're not going to be able to flex your shoulder. And we ask the shoulder to flex a lot in yoga. And this is where we want to be able to go. But if we're sunk down here, we're going to slam up against this bone here. We keep pinching all the tendons underneath it. And then it gets chronically inflamed, and then it changes the chemistry, and then the fibers start to break. It's a whole cascade of events. So let's prevent it, right? Let's not go as far as surgery and stuff, for heaven's sakes. Let's see if we can actually just get into better positions and stabilize our shoulder. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you. Now, I have done lots of videos on what I call the tunnel for this issue. It's going to prevent the issue. So I call it the tunnel. I'm not calling it like the solution to rotator cuff pain, but it does prevent rotator cuff pain. So first of all, you want to make sure your students have good upper spine posture. And you can practice that in postures like little cobra. So see, just bringing people here and having them practice getting into a better position. You can take it into other strengthening back body poses like flying bird pose, where they're lifting, okay, and creating some strength through that upper back so that they keep their arms, their shoulder in a better position. And then you can work just in table pose with this external activation through the shoulders. This is the solution to many shoulder issues. You must be practicing this. This is essential. So it's simple. You just have hands on the ground, energize like you're dialing the hands away from each other. You're going to literally wrap your arms onto your shoulders. And as I said, I have lots of videos on this, so I'm going to be quick. You can also use this activation in plank, dialing the hands away from each other, and in downward facing dog. So this prevents that crushing of the tendons under the acromion process. So instead of crushing them under here, we're going to dial it out and give ourselves some space under there. Okay? And that where we're using the strong muscles that we have around the shoulder blade to stabilize the shoulder blade and the shoulder. Okay? Big solution to a big problem. Go away and try it out in your own body and let me know what you think about that. So if you're teaching yoga, this is essential to teach your students. So I want to encourage you to include this activation in how you're teaching your postures. Okay, guys? Invite your comments and questions. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.